The galaxy of Vorten was ruled by King Zarthan, a fierce warlord whose reign spanned countless star systems. His armies were unmatched, his strategies flawless, and his name struck fear into the hearts of entire civilizations. But even the mightiest rulers have their burdens, and for Zarthan, it was his daughter, Princess Xyra. Xyra was born frail, her body weaker than the average Vortanian. Despite her royal lineage, she lacked the physical prowess and ruthless instinct that defined her people. The court whispered behind closed doors, mocking the king's delicate flower. Zarthan, frustrated but not without hope, sought a solution. He believed strength could be forged, even in the weakest vessel. And so, he sent for an unconventional gift, a human. Humans were considered primitive by Vortanian standards, resilient, yes, but technologically backward. They were often seen as little more than curiosities in the grander schemes of the galaxy. But Zarthan had heard whispers of humanity's indomitable spirit, their refusal to bow even in the face of annihilation. He believed that if anyone could awaken the fire within his daughter, it would be one of these strange, stubborn creatures. The human's name was Ethan Cole, a former soldier from Earth who had been captured during one of Vorten's raids. He was thrown into Xyra's custody, shackled and defiant. The princess was curious but unimpressed. What could this fragile being possibly teach her? At first, their interactions were tense. Xyra viewed Ethan as a mere tool, a means to an end. She demanded he train her in human combat techniques, but Ethan refused to be ordered around. His defiance sparked something in Xyra, a mix of frustration and intrigue. She wasn't used to being challenged, especially not by someone so seemingly insignificant. Ethan, on the other hand, saw through Xyra's royal facade. He recognized the insecurity behind her sharp words and cold demeanor. He agreed to train her, but on one condition: she had to earn it. No titles, no special treatment. If she wanted to become strong, she had to fight for it like anyone else. Days turned into weeks, and the training sessions grew more intense. Ethan pushed Xyra beyond her limits, forcing her to confront her weaknesses head-on. He taught her not just to fight, but to think, to adapt. He showed her that strength wasn't just about muscle or power, it was about resilience, about refusing to give up even when every bone in your body screamed for you to stop. Xyra's transformation was gradual but undeniable. The once frail princess grew stronger, faster, more strategic. But more importantly, she developed a warrior's spirit. She learned to embrace pain, to see failure not as a defeat but as a lesson. Ethan's harsh methods and relentless attitude molded her into something no one, not even her father, could have predicted. One day, news arrived that a rival faction had launched an unexpected assault on Vorten's capital. King Zarthan's forces were caught off guard, and the situation was dire. The king prepared to lead his armies into battle, but Xyra stepped forward, requesting permission to command a unit of her own. Zarthan, though skeptical, granted her request. He believed in her growth, but he doubted she was ready for real combat. Xyra, however, had no such doubts. With Ethan by her side as an advisor, she led her unit into battle. What followed was nothing short of legendary. Xyra's tactics were unorthodox, blending Vortanian might with human ingenuity. She anticipated enemy movements, exploited weaknesses, and inspired her soldiers with a fierce determination. Her once mocked frailty became an advantage, her smaller size allowed for agility and precision. She fought with a ferocity that stunned friend and foe alike. Ethan watched from the sidelines, a mix of pride and awe in his eyes. The princess he once viewed as a spoiled royal had become a force to be reckoned with. Under her command, the tide of battle shifted. The enemy, expecting an easy victory, found themselves outmaneuvered and overwhelmed. By the time the dust settled, Xyra's name was on every soldier's lips. She had not only defended the capital but also captured the enemy leader, forcing a swift end to the conflict. When she returned to the palace, the once dismissive courtiers now bowed in respect. King Zarthan, for the first time, looked at his daughter not with frustration, but with pride. But Xyra's transformation didn't stop there. She realized that true strength wasn't just about winning battles, it was about changing hearts and minds. She began advocating for alliances with other species, including humans. Her experience with Ethan had shown her the power of unity and diversity. Ethan, meanwhile, was offered freedom for his role in Xyra's rise. But he chose to stay, not as a prisoner, but as a trusted advisor and friend. Together, they reshaped Vortin's future, blending the best of both worlds. In the end, the galaxy would remember Princess Xyra not as the king's weak daughter, but as a fearsome warrior whose strength transcended her origins. And it all began with a human who refused to let her believe she was anything less than extraordinary. "You said